Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, second half, that's 10B, death predictions. Now, as we dive into this, don't forget, if you're new here, we have started The Walking Dead Flaws and Awes. As long as the interest remains, we are gonna attempt to do the entire friggin' series. We've already started way back with the pilot. That's The Walking Dead 101. Days Gone By. I'm in the middle of episode 102 as we speak, and we practiced when we first started with season 10, so there's a bunch of Walking Dead Flaws and Awes videos already done, as well as some movie Flaws and Awes. The Joker's my favorite. To be honest, I had so much fun with that one. But if you want to check those out, I'll leave a link both at the end of the video and right now in the upper right-hand corner. And the Flaws and Awes are a very unique, in-depth review showing Hollywood what worked and what didn't, while also having a hell of a lot of fun diving in deep to our favorite show and or movie. And now, The Walking Dead Season 10B Death Predictions. We're gonna go in alphabetical order, or at least to the best of my ability. Let's kick this off with Aaron. I'm gonna have to say no. Now, there's a lot of characters, so I'm not gonna have time to go in depth with every friggin' buddy, but simply put, I just feel like there's too much potential for Aaron to grow into a more loved and bigger character than he already is. What about Alden? Well, I don't feel like there's enough impact there, so I'm gonna have to say wait and build that character up. Next up, we got Alpha, and I think, yes, Alpha should die. Now, this is something in the comic book that I struggled with, and I came to the conclusion that I liked where it went. I liked what happened. However, I just feel like the comic didn't have enough Alpha, but we're getting enough in the show and a better version of Alpha, and I truly feel like Alpha has this slow, methodical way she's attacking the community. If you take her out, it'll really ramp up the story and take it from 0 to 100, having Beta just say, you know what, that's it, we're going after them. So I do think in this case, it does help. We just need a little bit more of Alpha before they kill her off. Speaking of Alpha, we got Beta. I don't think they should kill Beta. Now, there is a chance they will, but I don't think they should. I think Beta should roll over into the next season as an imposing threat that'll layer the storytelling into the main story that'll pop off in season 11. Beta being a lingering threat could keep that tension, but it could also keep some kind of sudden, shocking surprise attack that happens. I talked about this when we were reviewing the comic, but I would have loved, Beta or some whispers when the survivors think it's all dead and done, but there's a few remaining, and they sneak in somewhere, attack on the road, and they're this kind of creepy slasher vibe that's waiting out there in the woods, on the patrol roads. Keep that vibe going for a good few episodes until they finally clap Beta or any of the remaining whispers and finish off that threat. Next up, we got Carol, and I'm gonna have to say no, it's just too risky. What about Connie? I think that's a maybe, but I hope not. I think it might be a little too harsh, to be honest. At this moment, I think that would be a little too rough for the audience. And then we have Cindy and Rachel. I'd live in Oceanside, that's for sure. However, I don't think there's enough impact if Cindy or Rachel died, so I don't know why that would be incorporated into the story. We have a little war coming up, so we're gonna have some characters that'll just flat out die, even though it doesn't fully push the story forward. That's because it's a war. But they are really our only connections to Oceanside. And if they're going to get rid of Oceanside, then okay, it needs to be done. But if we're going to keep that community around, we need someone from Oceanside that we have a connection with. We got Daryl, and again, just like Carol, I'm gonna have to say hell no, it's just too risky. I think maybe at this point in time, Daryl and Carol are probably the most safe unless they themselves want to leave the show. Eugene, I feel like, is just too beneficial for the story that's coming up next. We have our communities building. You need a character like Eugene because when things are being built, we understand that he's smart, he's clever, he researches the hell out of it. Instead of just popping in some random newbie, we have Eugene, and it already fits. Plus, until Eugene tells everyone about the communication on the radio, he's as safe as it gets. I'm gonna have to surprise everyone and say, no, I don't think Ezekiel should die. Now, likely I'm going against the grain here because he is dying already of cancer. However, they're hinting at a really big established community that our characters are going to run into next season, and I think that Eugene is going to be, or should be, the connection to that community, but them having medical supplies that could save Ezekiel's life in some type of operation, because they did make a point to mention in the old world this would have been nothing. It would have been in, out, have a surgery and no problem. And I think that was done purposefully to show that this community could heal Ezekiel with a surgery. And that is what pushes our survivors to risk going out and making first contact with this community that Eugene got in contact with over the radio. Next up, we got Gangsta Gabe. Now, before Sadiq died, I was thinking Gangsta Gabe would go out this season because he did die right around this point in the comic, and I thought they might be sticking to that. I did think it was odd that the way he died is very specific and unique and weird, and they did that death already in season 8. And I'm still stumped as to why they showed a death that was identical to Father Gabriel. That has always kind of stumped me, but at this point, I'm going to have to say no. I think we need some characters that are, or that have roots as deep and as far back as they can go. And I think Gabriel is a good addition to keep him there. We're going to throw Gage in here. I'm going to have to say no, because unless he dies just as a death in the war, I don't see that impacting the story at all. We have a little toss up with the next one, Gamma. Yes, hell yes, I think Gamma's gonna die, but I'm talking about the Whisperer version of Gamma. Under the mask, we got Mary. A part of me feels like, yeah, sure, she's just in and out co-starring in a little role, and as Mary, she's gonna die too. But then there's another part of me that thinks, well, maybe they're building her character up because she's gonna be one of the lingering, Whisperers that will actually assimilate with our group after. I think it would be kind of neat and a different type of story if we follow Gamma. Now that I'm thinking about that, for the coming storyline as they slowly build into this new big community, if we follow a character that is having a little bit of a difficult time assimilating with Alexandria, and she's friends with Aaron, and maybe Aaron can be there to help her embrace and come back to that normalcy again. Or she's just a co-starring character and yeah, she'll die, but I think it might be more interesting if we leave her alive. Next, we got Jerry, and originally I was gonna say yes, but the trailer wants us to believe he dies in the cave, and I just feel like that's way too predictable, so I'm gonna have to lean to no. It's just too predictable. Judith would be a really stupid death, and that's because she's a legacy character. AMC can do so much. There's just too much potential here. If they do decide to shut down the main show and send some characters into movies, they could actually have a time jump and then show Judith when she is in her early 20s, and that could be a mini movie series, a mini trilogy all on its own, where Daryl has a cameo in Judith's movie. But simply put, I think Judith, it would be a mistake to kill her off because of the potential for future content. Next up, we got Kelly, and I'm at a loss here because if she were to die now, that would affect Connie almost exclusively. It would affect everyone in their little clique. However, I just feel like it would be more beneficial to Connie's story to push her in some type of direction, but I'm just not seeing it. But I'm gonna have to say no for Kelly, but I do think someone in that clique will die soon. Then we got Laura. Oh, Laura's fine. She better not die. That's all I gotta say. Laura better stick around. Besides, I think it would be neat to get a scene with an ex-savior like Laura, and now she's not into Negan, and following his rules and anything like that. I think there's something interesting there. We need that, you know what I mean? It's not just because she's hot. Alright, next up we got Luke. Yes? I mean, I kind of feel like that's too predictable, but I'm going with yes. I know they had this big goodbye, and a part of me feels like that's a touch misleading, but I don't know. I think Luke is gonna die. How? I'm not sure, but maybe it connects to the Whisperer spy that's at Oceanside, that might be at Oceanside. We got Lydia. I think she's not gonna die, but why not? Why shouldn't she die? Where's her connection anymore? I get it though, it's with Alpha, but if Alpha dies off, Henry's not around. In the comic, Lydia and Carl were a thing, and I don't know, man. Even then, they ditched that. At the very end, they were like, oh yeah, Lydia's just a friend. And I liked the Lydia character in the comic. I mean, I liked her a lot. I liked the story. I thought it had a great potential. And her ending up best friends with Carl was something that I actually enjoyed. It just felt like it fit nicely. However, in the show, I'm having a hard time with the connections for this character connecting to the other characters. Maybe if they move forward and they build more of a bond with Carol and Lydia and finally have a character that's a child that Carol can mentor and raise and help and aid that doesn't die off, maybe that would be some beneficial angle for Carol's character. So I say, yeah, either kill her off once the Whisperer stuff is done with. It just doesn't have the same impact in the comic. Man, in the comic there was a cool war moment. I'm not going to say it now, but man, listen, Lydia got down. I'm going to have to say either kill her off or connect her with Carol or do something that has some weight to it when it comes to Lydia. Magna, please, please. This chick is stealing. She's got resting bitch face all the time. This is a character that I liked in the comic and I was really excited for on the show, and I just can't stand. She's got all attitude all the friggin' time, and she's just got this face. Like, when she smiles, it's fine. When she's getting along with people, it's fine. But when she just has that bitch face on, it is so obnoxious. Just get rid of her. I mean, there's gotta be someone new from that clique to die and help kind of bring them more into the fold. But Magna's the one that's really holding out. And she's got that fight with Yumiko now. Just get rid of her. Michonne is obviously leaving. They announced that. And at this point in time, I think it would be too risky to kill her off. If the actress is for sure, I'm not coming back, I think if that was the case, they would just kill her off in the Whisperer War. Since she left and she went on this run, I think that's a big hint that she's not going to die. Because if she for sure had to die, do you think they would remove her from a war just to kill her alone and leave everyone wondering? No, I don't know why they would do that. Storytelling wise, there would be a big hole in how rewarding that would be. Oh, we got Negan, and I know people are going to be mad, and this kind of blew my mind at first because I was originally going to say no, but I'm picking yes. Because when you look at the Negan character, there's only a few things you can do with him. You can either kill him off, or you can do what they did in the comic where he walks off and that's it. Now that would be good for AMC because even if he walks off, I'm going to count him on the list of being killed. He's either killed off or he walks off and we never see him again until maybe they come out with a Negan spinoff down the line. Now again, that's a possibility. That's something that AMC looks like they would want to do. And in the comic, they left it open like that. Negan left. The writer was like, yeah, I'm pretty much done with the comic for now. You know, in a few years, they'll probably release a few stories. They could come back with a Negan story. I think in the show, they might do the same thing. But if you don't do that, the only other option is to bring him into the group and have him one of the heroes, either living in the group or outside of the group, but frequently in the series. With Maggie returning, I don't really know if there's a believable and a good way to do that, having Negan there just free and chilling. Even if he helps, no matter how much charisma Jeffrey Dean Morgan has, what he did is flat out unforgivable. And I love Negan as a character, but there's only 3 things you could do. Kill him off, let him leave, enter a spinoff, or he becomes a hero and you get this kind of rocky, jarring, possible story with him. Rosita's gonna be a yes. For one, she has a new TV show. I know actors can take multiple jobs. However, I think this is similar to Sasha. I think Rosita got killed off and then she went out looking for another gig. And story-wise, they keep bringing up the, oh, I can't die crap with her and her baby. And I'm just not sure why they're bringing that up, unless they're going to connect it with some type of death later on, which you would think they would want to avoid saying that shit. We're going to have to see how it plays out. But I'm thinking Rosita's dead. And if they had any balls whatsoever, they would kill her off, just like how Lori died in the comic. That would be intense. After all, what was the point of her having a baby? Not to be cold. But, you know, Virgil is on the list, and I'm saying straight up, no. I think that would be pointless. We don't care. And we got Yumiko, and I'm actually re-editing my opinion here because I'm changing it. Originally, I said no, I think she's gonna live, but you know what? I think she's gonna die. They're giving Yumiko a lot of shine, and I thought that was because they're gonna kill off Magna, and Yumiko would be the leader to help the rest of the group fully embrace the community. Magna was the last one kind of holding out and not trusting the community and finally clicking up with them. But now I do think it will be Yumiko that dies, and it will be her kind of, not dying wish, but similar in that vein. Either how the community tried to help and protect her or fight alongside her or something along that lines. It will show Magna that yes, this is a community that she wants to be a part of and she's proud to be a part of, and somehow that will come from Yumiko's death. You get what I'm saying? Am I saying that right? Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna change it. I think Yumiko will die. Surprise ending!